Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Lavatory Podcast. I am joined with my guest, Caleb, a.k.a.
Cuddy 2 Live, Cuddy 2 Live.
Cuddy 2 Live.
You
Caleb,
gonna say my
welcome.
government name in public like that?
You're right. Well, my
it's all
bad.
good. They know now.
They don't know the last name.
They don't. They will never know.
Speaking of which, I have something for you.
What is it?
Actually, you can just have that. This is for you.
¿Qué eso? Ah! Hey, if you zoom in, that's my pop's name. It's my father's name. You will never know my last name now.
Yep.
It's a government thing.
Don't ask me why I had that, but
I feel like
you just never picked it up the last time we were here.
Appreciate it.
But Caleb, yeah, man, welcome to the Lavatory Podcast. I know it's your first time here.
Skeezy.
And I would love to just get into who you are, man, your backstory, your childhood. You have a very interesting one that I would love to share with the audience out there. So
let's do it.
Who are you? Where you come from?
So who am I to the world? I would say persona stage-wise, I'm Cuddy 2 Live. I like to hide it like that. Almost like, like superheroes, like Spider-Man and shit. Like, That's my identity type shit. It's like, this is my night job, but it's consistent. So wherever I go, really, unless it's like my corporate world, I'm Cuddy 2 Live. But I'm Caleb, and it's Caleb Masawe. Y'all probably will never, ever hear that ever again in another podcast. We're taking shits together, so, I mean, we getting personal, you know what I mean? So I go by Caleb Masawe. I'm the son to Dennis Masawe and the son to Lulu Masawe. We came from Africa, firstborn. I was raised and born in Africa, but more so raised in America. So I lived in Ohio for my younger days, Columbus, Ohio.
So do you have dual citizenship?
We can get into that, but no. When you come to America, you gotta choose. They make you choose. When you go to every other part of the world, you can have dual citizenship, but America is one of those ones you gotta have one. You can't choose, so you can't have both. So I'm an American citizenship. It took me American citizenship. It took me 17 years to get my citizenship.
Damn.
Yeah. So it took a minute, but for those times I was an African citizen. Growing up until 17 years old, I had my green card. I was a little illegal for a little bit. Niggas didn't know that, but we came to California and they allow you to get your papers here a lot faster than the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
Just because it's a more blue state, I guess. So they want people to be welcomed here, rather than the red shits. You know, we don't it's America. We don't allow outsiders.
Isn't that backwards?
But no, the blue is Blue's all about love and sharing, right? See, I'm not a politician.
I thought I could have sworn red was for Democrats and blue was for.
No, red is conservatives, bro. Red is Republican, America, red, and then blue is that Democrat.
Yeah,
shit.
I think you're right.
Blue is what we have right now. What's his name? Biden, half asleep motherfucker.
I haven't voted in 8 years.
You want to know who I voted for this year?
If you want to tell me and the other 35 people watching this, sure.
It's gonna be soon, 100,000. But I actually was. I voted for myself.
Oh yeah, you can't do that.
That's cap. That's cap. I voted where it said you can vote for anybody. I voted for Jesus. That's what I did.
2% of the population votes for Mickey Mouse every year or every election.
If Mickey Mouse became president, we're fucked.
I would be sad. I work for Disney.
Disney.
So
I mean, you're lucky, nigga. I work for America. We're fucked. I'm telling you right now. I can't even imagine what happened if Mickey Mouse was our president.
Bro, I was really I was on that Kanye train. I have to admit, I was on that Kanye train back in 20.
I was down to vote for him.
20. What was that? 2022. Yeah.
It was during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere under
I still didn't vote, but he had my moral support.
He had my moral support, but that's when I voted for Jesus.
Got you.
But just to answer your question, I know I kind of went on a tangent.
Yeah, Ohio.
Ohio.
You're at Ohio.
I went from Ohio to here. So I moved here when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
To California.
Yeah. So I'm a Cali kid at heart, but I just grew up around and in different situations, more dire and harder than some. But then also, when I hear about people where I grew up from and where actually I was born at, the stories where they're still at, it's nothing compared. So I've been living the American dream. Really, if anyone asked, it's my parents came here, we were princes. I was actually living lavish. My parents' wedding was on TV in Africa.
Damn.
We was balling, but they wanted more, so they came out to America so we can be having more opportunities, all that American dream stuff. But it's been everything but a dream. Let's say that it's been reality than the motherfucker.
Yeah. So then, what was your childhood like, transitioning from like Africa to here? Like, what does a childhood look like for somebody like that?
Secretive, I'd say. Something about obtaining like moral, so like something in the African culture, or at least just in our family culture. Like I don't even know African, but like just where I, like my family is, we don't go looking for handouts. We don't go asking for help. We don't like to show we're in distress. And it's like I've seen in like a lot of situations like parts where I'm like, I've grown up in America and like you have your little, American friends. Oh, like let me help you out. Like if you ever need help, da da da. And I'm like, 10 years old, like ask mom, like nigga, we need help. You know where we living at type shit. So like, but you just never show your true like colors type shit. So it's been just one of those things where it's like, as hard as life gets and stuff, like you don't need to let people know like how hard it is. So
Yeah.
learning how to do that for myself in like my adulthood has been really an experience, I say, just because it's like I have homies that know my situation every day, where like if my parents knew I was telling my homies that shit, they'd be like, you're fucking weak, like what the fuck are you asking for help for? And they're probably not gonna say it like that because we come from a Christian background, so like all the cussing out and everything, but like they're gonna just look at you like, bro, you don't be asking for help, like handle your shit, so I just come from a background like that. Like a lot of the struggles, which is a lot, every day, damn near, like you just don't need to disclose it to the public. So it's a lot of things that just are unsaid. Like you seen just being a close friend, and sometimes when I get too fucked up, I'll say it type shit. But really, it's just been a lot of just secretive living. You're trying to figure yourself out in a whole different land. It's a foreign land. It's not yours. So that's how it is.
And now you just put it all out there.
Now they know, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, if you come try to know me now, nigga, I'm fucking on a whole nother level. You wouldn't even put. It's like, is this nigga Caleb or Cuddy right now, nigga? You would never know. So it's like y'all can know this just so you can get closer. But at the end of the day, like, unless you're a brother, like, or like a intermediate, like you got blood, ties, like you never gonna know me. You know what I'm saying? So for the niggas in this room, it's a privilege to know who the fuck I am. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that gets lonely though? Like not being able to be yourself, I guess, with anybody, so that they kind of see like. Do you, I feel like that would get tiring or like / lonely, having to like keep up a facade. Like not to say that this is like a fake thing. It's more of like a exaggerated manifestation of like who you are.
I would say it's exaggerated, and it's only exaggerated because of experiences in the past. Me, like I've actually had to I've had to be like talked to, like, and like I've had even my parents and like family members almost give me like the rest of peace in mind, like, hey bro, like you are the firstborn, like in a foreign land, like you were the fucking test subject, like all your shits that like made you who you are today, like is really who you are, and it's like we are, like my cousins and my brothers and sisters always tell me like we're a part of you in like the best and worst way. Like we don't want to do what you did, and also like we're learning from you, and like we also want to aspire to be like someone like you type shit. So like I've grown into like loving myself, but it all stems from insecurity. Like this whole persona shit is just like I'm not the type to like lie about it. Like, oh yeah, I just knew I was greater and I needed to be a fucking other persona. It was no. This all stems from insecurity, and like Cuddy 2 Live is a whole persona that I like. I want the world to see. I want the world to get, and I want the world to connect to. I don't want people to connect to Caleb. I don't want people to know who I am, because like I still struggle with knowing who I am, and like deep down, it's like I know I'm a child of God, but like to me, like it's sadly not enough. Like I need to like I know I'm a child of God, and I know like that's enough, but like sometimes I just feels like my all is like dirt. You know what I mean? So I'm like Cuddy 2 Live is almost an aspiration. It's like it's a reason to keep going. It's like it's a persona not to hide who I am, but it's a persona to mask who I am and portray myself, Caleb, like how I feel to the world. So like all my lyrics, you'll know who Caleb is if you listen to the lyrics and hear the song. It's all metaphor, but if you break it down, you'll know who Caleb is, because he's just speaking in like third person, really.
Gotcha. So it's almost kind of like therapeutic in a way to take some time away to be like this other type of persona while working on figuring out like who you are and like in the meantime, or like behind the scenes without all the public's eye on you type thing.
Yeah, basically how I just say it is exactly what you're basically saying in just a more concise way. It's the person I want to be, but I'm just hiding it in the person I'm figuring out. Yeah, that's really all it is. So I don't like people knowing that I'm struggling just like them. But at the end of the day, that's the real life. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, if you're a human, you can't hide that. Like, you will struggle. And it's like life is a struggle. If you don't, I hate social media sometimes because niggas always act like it's perfect and peachy. But it's like, nigga, I know that's fake because I've done this. I've done that fake shit. I've posted that fake shit. Like, so it's more so like I'm actually posting in Cuddy 2 Live. I'm really posting all the shit I'm insecure about, but it gives me almost an excuse because it's like, oh, it's not really me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I mean, a lot of what you said is also like the heart of kind of the Lavatory podcast, in the sense of like just trying to put it out there in such a way that it's not really dressed up to look any sort of type of way. Like, what you see is what you get, and it is what it is type thing. Because I'm in that boat where it's like, I don't want people to know like 100% of my business, but I don't want them to get the wrong idea about who they may think or not think that I am in a sense of, I want to be true to myself. And then for the people that rock with that, they rock with that. And the people that don't, then I wasn't really for them type thing. And for me, the Lavatory podcast is like that manifestation of that, and trying to curate this in that way where I can learn more about myself, even during this,
Can I ask you something?
I feel like ask anything.
Like, in this journey of like, we're starting this shit, everything, like you said, like the 35 people viewing this, and I believe it's gonna be more sooner than later because there's gonna be good content coming out of this. But I feel like it's almost like, tell me, like, because like for me, I feel like I have a lot of moments. Like, it's not because like I've gone past the moment. I feel like a lot of people, they have this like driving them to like be creative and show like this side of them. It's like, it's not the first time you've heard that, like from me or you know what I'm saying? It's not like some, oh my God, but like I feel like the difference is the people that actually live it and the people that just aspire, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you're living it, it's more not the fear of what people are going to think, because it's like you're doing it, you know what I'm saying? But it's more about like, my fear is, where am I going to lose myself type shit? Because it's like, I know I'm sharing the side that I feel like people will like, or like will like perceive, but it's all like in a disguise. But it's like, where does that like gray line mix to like where I'm showing people my insecurities, and then like, oh, imagine like I'm singing about drugs and taking drugs and shit, and I've struggled with that shit, and like sex and all that, and that's what starts selling. And now I'm trying to give people what they want to hear, because I know that's what like is monetizing and shit. But really, that's like my end. Like, I feel like that's Juice WRLD and like a lot of artists, where it's a lot of talented motherfuckers out there where like you need the trick I'm trying to figure out, and I feel like that's what I'm asking you is like, are you trying to figure out how to do it in the most like almost holy, godly way, where it's like, hey, like I can aspire to be somebody and like show my deepest, darkest points of myself, and even if it doesn't work out, like, and I know like there's a certain way that can work out, my true self doesn't want to give into that, but I'm also not gonna go towards that route because it's just like for clicks bait, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole the clout shit, you know what I'm saying? I think that's where people get lost in it. It's all about doing this shit genuinely, and then you get a couple clicks, and then all of a sudden it's like you just get lost in the sauce. So I feel like my question to you is, are you doing it to like find yourself and then hopefully like pass on the information to people on like the journey in finding yourself, or are you doing it to actually get like just pop in?
Yeah, I think it's more like, because I'm a little bit older than you, and not by much, and not even like in the age bracket where people would even consider that it matters. But I say that to say that I've had a little bit more time to kind of contend with myself and do some reflection, and I have a strong enough sense of like who I am, in the sense of the skills and talents I know I can utilize for my own benefit. And that's where I'm trying to put that out to the world in this format. Because I always said since I was much younger that because I don't know if you ever had a question asked where people ask if you could do anything and money wasn't like an issue, what would you do?
Yeah.
And I literally said like,
what was your answer?
I said if I could just sit and grab coffee with people and talk to them and get to know them and hear their story and and share and trade wisdom and all that kind of jazz, like I would do that for the rest of my life over like a chess game.
That's beautiful.
And so ironically enough, that's gonna make a lot of people cringe right there. Nobody can even see the board, so
it
it's
can't,
fine.
Bro. Even if they don't, fuck it. We're playing chess.
Oh, you can't?
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it,
that's
nigga.
gonna make people cringe a lot. Yeah, so ironically enough, doing a podcast is the closest thing towards that would make monetization. So as far as like getting to the end goal where like this is my full source of income, I think that becomes like the question of how we go about approaching it. And if I did something that was somewhat out of character, but it was really hitting the algorithm correctly and started to get numbers, I would have to ask myself that question of like, oh, like what's the real goal here? Because I think if I know I'm going to get to the goal, but one's just going to take longer than the other, it's just a matter of like, well, how much patience and what am I trying to achieve here? You
Facts.
know. So for me, it's like the journey is I'm learning to take joy in the journey versus just focusing on results. Because especially at this stage, if I was just focused on like the numbers, I would be incredibly like disappointed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's actually dope that you're saying that, because like for me, it's the same outcome. It's like I just want to like find almost like the purpose in this, and like the genuine purpose on like even like why my soul wants to do this. Because at the end of the day, I feel like coming from both Christian backgrounds, like we know like our flesh is not here to stay type shit. So like I'm actually like in this sense where it's like I know what I want to do is to like be able to retire my mom and dad and like make sure my family can't stress about their next meal and like rent. But if I die today and they're still able to eat off that, and like my soul is leading people to a place where not even it's like heaven or hell, but it's just like I'm like my music or my content is just like leading people to a place where they're lost, and it's just like they're just I'd rather be a person that like if I die today, it leads people to a place of like maybe an answer rather than like I'm just more lost. Like I feel like when you watch them Andrew Tates and shit, like you're just kind of like, what the fuck is life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, should I be a hard ass nigga or should I be a simp? Like type shit, you know what I mean? But it's like I'm really just like, hey, bro, I'm a person just trying to chase after God's heart, and it's like I know like I am the most imperfect person like out there, and it's funny to say that because it's like even me knowing I know there's way more people that have done way more worse things, but I don't like Christ. I don't view sin in like a margin of like you did that, you did this. I just know it's like intention, and my intention almost all the time is like for greed, for malice, for like my own fucking gain, where I know that's almost gonna always lead to like a place of regret. So I'm just trying to figure out how to do this thing where it's almost like you're doing it to gain everything for yourself and your family, but like in a way where it's like if I were to like leave the earth, the people that did follow me or the people that did actually just like me and like listen to my shit and my message, am I leaving them in a place where like they're more confused than I even was with that message, or like in a place where at least like, hey, like we're both lost and at least this is the answer I've come to. And I feel like for me it's like God, you know what I'm saying, in a weird sense. Like I feel like a lot of the things that what we're doing is just trying to figure out like what's bigger than us, you know?
Yeah. Well, damn, Caleb. This is definitely not what I wrote down, but I like it. I like it where it's at right now. To that point you just said, there is a parable in the Bible that I think about where this man had a great wealth, right? And he looked at his storehouse and said, like, what am I supposed to do with all my wealth? It fills up my storehouse, and I have leftovers. Like, what am I supposed to do with all this leftover? And so he has the bright idea to build a second storehouse right next to the first one. And then he's like, now I have enough space for the stuff I have.
Facts, bro.
And then God says, you fool, like, surely today you'll die, and what will become of your
whole gains,
your stuff now, right? So in that sense, it's like if your only goal is to work to get everything that you want for yourself, like money, fame, women, blah blah blah, and I believe that you're talented enough to do all that and get there. You'll find what I found in my early 20s was that you'll be extremely dissatisfied and bored eventually with all that stuff. Like, how many steak dinners can you eat? How many nice hotels can you stay in before they all start looking the same?
How many drugs can you do off somebody's ass? You feel
and
me?
then like, how many women do you have to like be with to prove like the point
that you're that nigga?
That you're good. It's like, okay, well, cool, you know.
Bro, trust me, I've been there, and I swear it gets to the point where it's honestly like when you're chasing that shit, it's really embarrassing. It's actually embarrassing, and I feel like, it's actually at the point where I've learned at my younger ages that we have. Did you see that?
Man, what? Are you using the remote? Are you using the remote?
You have a whole fucking TV talking.
Yeah. Oh, my TV's acting on its own.
Are we haunted right now?
No, no.
Are we talking about Jesus and we over here getting haunted, nigga? What? No, but hey, what I'm saying is like, I just feel like real life, I've actually gotten to the point where my whole self-esteem from everything has been being a people pleaser. Like, I just want people to like me. And even part of even stemming for like why I'm doing all this creative shit is just like, I want to be loved, and I want to be in a place where like I can perform in front of 20,000 people and like, yeah, they're cheering for me, not because of me, but it's like the work I've put in. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I played football for 12 years before even getting into this whole creative like space, and I stopped because I realized like, damn, you're really just doing this football thing because like this is a source of like fun for you and an escape of like just like you can escape real life. Like when I was a college athlete, I didn't have to worry about bills. Like that shit was paid for with like scholarships and fast food. Like I didn't need to worry about that shit. So like I could just be in this persona I wanted to be. I'm an athlete, you know, like I'm aspiring to be in the NFL, but I knew deep down inside I wasn't going anywhere. So like it hit me and I was like, bro, like you just doing this shit to get pussy and like and just play this facade like you're him, you know what I mean? But like I realized like, no, this is not it, because you get to a place where like you start reaching for that and then you start looking stupid, bro. Like my name is dragged like Caleb. That's also why I changed it to Cuddy, because it was like Caleb was kind of like a name dragged around town. It was like, fuck, bro. That nigga's nasty.
I mean, yeah, back when I was single, I knew a lot of people knew you from
Eskimo
where we're at. Yep. We share that story too. I definitely do not want to talk about that though.
No, that's not gonna come on. We're not even gonna give her the fucking street cred. You know what I mean?
I don't want to talk about that. But yes, we are Eskimo brothers indeed. But okay, so Cuddy 2 Live. This is a music artist persona.
That's a music artist persona, as well as just like a persona. Like I want it to be like Tyler the Creator. I know that nigga doesn't. His last name is not the Creator. You know what I'm saying? But like, it doesn't matter. Whatever he does now, that nigga can take a shit, and then he's like, Tyler the Creator's taking a shit. Nobody knows him for his real name. You know what I mean? Travis Scott, that is not his real name. But I just want it to be my outside world persona. I want it to be the person you don't know.
Dude, have you like looked into Travis Scott's like background?
He's low-key a fucking square. He's a fucking square. Like, they over here talking about like, oh, Travis Scott, the great performer. I'm like, that nigga, when you look at his persona, he was like the oddball. You know what I mean?
Well, it was just so interesting because it was such a. I like watch this guy named Patrick CC on YouTube, and shout out Patrick CC because he does like these deep. He's like it really deep into like the music game. Like, and he's just like a Twitch streamer / YouTuber, but he did like this whole deep dive and analysis on Travis Scott's like rise to fame, let's say, and it was just so like obscure because he seemed to like make all these right connections to like get connected to Kanye and all these things without like just dropping music like consistently and then like something popped off. Like it seemed like he already kind of had like all these interesting connections, which is funny that you like brought him up. But yeah, like how's your music journey been like? I know we have a song together.
Actually my first song.
Yeah, your first song. Like we did a song together. I'll play it. I'll play it right now.
If you can humble up, I can sit down. Holy way we rise to see the kingdom. The only prize wasn't church, just hint enterprise. Broken hearts pimped and made monetized instead of revitalized. Just wanna see with open eyes. Just wanna move with a clear mind. This is youth and this is our time.
They just wanna see the kids falling. City to city we be rolling, yeah. It's hard to show it all off, but we can't stop.
Yeah, you can check it out on all platforms. I'm telling you right now. Basically, it's not my first song, but it's my first song out on all platforms, thanks to you. Yeah. And you pushed me to actually drop music, just because what you were saying about Travis Scott actually is sidetrack real quick. I like that because that's kind of where I get frustrated at. And pause real quick. Is my beatbox there? Can you pass it to me? But basically, I feel like thanks. This is not a sponsorship. Shouts out Beatbox. If you want to get fucking drunk.
Disgusting.
What?
I had it the other day. I had the mango one. That shit is ass.
Because you had the mango one, nigga. This is a sweet tea one. This shit, just take a little taste.
No.
Just take a little taste.
No.
Further promotion. Like, just take a little taste. And give your honest reaction.
Beatbox, this is ass.
This is, no. This is.
I would say the same thing if I had Prime in front of
Shut
me. Actually,
no,
not
honestly,
true. Prime is actually pretty good.
Fuck Prime. Fuck Prime.
I actually kind of like Prime.
I haven't tried
the
it.
The energy drink is pretty good.
I haven't tried it just because it's not even fuck Jake Paul. I was a big Jake Paul fan. I stood for you when you fucking were in the. What?
That's disgusting.
You're a capper. Look.
That's not good.
Beatbox.
I'm pretty sure it's Logan Paul. It's Logan Paul and KSI.
It is, but I'm just saying right now, Prime, I haven't tried it because it's like, it's not the original electrolyte drink, bro. Gatorade is. Come on.
Okay, people said the same thing about Propel and
that's why Propel's not around.
Propel is still around.
No, it's fucking like a Walmart brand now, bro. Come on.
People said the same thing about electric like water versus smart water or essentials water. Essentials water.
Electrolyte is actually good. It's like the adult Pedialyte. Don't play with it.
Yeah, but people, whatever. The point is that is the dumbest reason not to like a brand.
I know, but it's also they're like the personal brand. I feel like Jake Paul and KSI have a bigger personal brand.
Definitely Logan Paul and KSI. Jake Paul, other one.
And I'm not gonna ask to take that out. We're gonna keep that in there. Fuck it. I didn't know which brother was, but Logan Paul or is it Jake Paul?
It's Logan Paul.
It's Logan Paul
and KSI.
Yeah, Logan Paul and KSI. I think it's just their personas that like sell the name. I haven't tried the drink because I don't want it to be like a thing. I didn't want it to be like a drink where I'm trying it because I know who they are. I want it to be like, I like even like in tracks. I like tracks where it's like you hear a track and then you're like, oh my god, Drake was the executive producer. I don't want to hear a track executive produced by Drake. I don't care to know what he has. I like that mysterious shit. So it's like, I still haven't tried it because it's like, bro, I know who Jake Paul and KSI are, and like until you guys come up with something that like is under the radar, and then it's like, yeah, we created this shit, then I'll fuck with it. But
so you're saying that like if their names weren't attached, it wouldn't sell as good as well.
Fuck yeah. Prime is a mid-ass drink, and I haven't even tried it because it's like, bro, I know it is. I mean,
I tried the energy drink and it's pretty good.
Yeah, but it would not sell like I give Celsius so much credit because they did not have any name to them, and they beat every energy drink out there. And there are Herbalife, all them. There's so many energy, healthy based drinks. So it's like for me, it's like
that's true. I've never seen a single yerba mate.
You know what I'm saying?
Single yerba mate.
A single like.
Unless
in a
you
gas
count,
station, unless like
you
you're fucking
Kenny.
you're like your auntie that was selling that shit in 2008.
Yeah, or unless you count Kenny Beats, he'd be putting the shit out of yerba. Hey, you want a yerba mate?
He didn't even call it yerba mate. He was like yerba mate, nigga. Fuck out of here. But I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, bro, like, I just don't want to try because like their name is way too behind it. But back into like what we were saying, I feel like basically the reason why the whole creation processes and like everything like that is more so just for me, it's really just to like get my name out there because I know I have so much in store. I have way more in store than like just music. It's fashion, it's short films, it's everything we're doing, you know, podcast productions, but like I know I own music, if that makes sense. That's my forte. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. What are you working on right now?
I actually have a lot of tracks. I have a lot of tracks coming up, but right now I'm actually in the house scene.
Okay.
I'm in the house scene right now. I'm doing a lot of house tracks, and I'm featuring on a lot of my producer's tracks. Relevant, shouts out Relevant, Double M, Double L, and I've been working with him, as well as Lavelle in the tracks, and then Lampstands I've been affiliated with as far as the short films. I haven't really been like involved as far as the creation process, really. But like, we have some shows we did in the past that I'm helping edit and like just things like that. And some of the short films I know you've been part of, you're gonna catch him acting in them.
Yeah. I mean, we did a short. I did a short film with Josh Hughes on camera right now. I don't know what he's doing right now, but
he's trying to get this shit charged, right?
He's doing something.
Is it working?
Are we dead? Are we dead?
Yes.
Okay, we're done.